A few days ago, we listened to the clip of Jillian Michaels talking about Leslie Jones and the joke that Leslie Jones made, and somehow she tried to tie that into race. Remember, Jillian Michaels was complaining about the left making everything about race, but she's the one who inserted race into that clip about Leslie Jones talking about her dating life, which had nothing to do with race. But again, like I told you guys, that clip was actually longer because she gets into Michelle Obama and how the left is always bringing up race and talking about this and that, and she's not accepted by the left. So let's go ahead and get in the clip. But first, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it, y'all. Oh, yeah. And before we start, we're going to get into Dr. Drew, Dave Rubin, Sage Steele, because, of course, they got a lot to say as well, too. But Jillian is the one that always seems to be having a meltdown and like, oh, you going and doing all this stuff. And like, bitch, calm down. You know, it ain't that serious. But let's get into it.
Figuratively. So I struggle with it in many ways.
Don't you think, though, the act, the contrition?
Oh, let me set this up. They're talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene and how she basically has turned on Trump, but they're feeling conflicted because 1 minute they agree with her and then the next minute they're saying, oh, well, she's feeding into the left and, you know, basically trying to, I don't want to say, yeah, because she's white. That's the wrong word. But y'all get what I'm saying. Suck up to the left, basically.
It has to go both ways, meaning that's exactly what I said on the show. If someone is actually putting away some of the hatred and vitriol and blah, 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 like that, I think is good. But, you know, I saw Sunny Hostin talking about it. And Sunny Hostin's like, it's great. She's putting away the vitriol. But lady, you are like the queen of vitriol. Or
that's what I was thinking when I watched that clip. I'm like, wait a minute, I'll do the MAGA base. Like that's all they do.
Right. So they
base, they're racist, they're this, they're that, they're disgusting. Oh my God, they're the devil. Like this is all that they do is divide and race bait and spew hatred. It's like I just, oh my God.
How do you really feel?
Oh God, and the thing is, I've been in both of these camps. I speak from personal experience. I've been the Marjorie Taylor Greene character in so much that like suddenly you find yourself talking to Hannity on Fox News. And you're like, wait, how did I get here? But Hannity never tried to destroy me. The right never tried to destroy me ever. And I went on Fox News to discuss what we had in common and then try to explain some of the things that we didn't. And subsequently, I went on CNN to try to explain some of the things that both sides have in common and some of the things that we see differently. And to be honest, the left is far less open to that conversation. It goes both ways. And the left is never interested in bridging ideologies. They don't show up for debates. They only launch in ad hominem attacks and shout you down. My invite to Leslie Jones, my re-invite to Abby Phillip, Ashley Allison. It's all the same story. Van Jones, he was never showing up to talk to Charlie. We all know this. They just want to.
Again, she listed all the black people she had an issue with. Now, if you're going to say the left, why not bring up Anderson Cooper and, you know, other people that are also hosts? But you only brought up the black people when you are like, they don't want to talk to me. Yeah, they don't want to talk to you because you try to minimize slavery. Now, she's trying to say, oh, I'm coming from a standpoint of like, you know, there's certain things that shouldn't be in the museum. And no. You literally said that, oh, well, everybody had slaves. You try to minimize it. When we are talking about American history, we are talking about America. We live in America. I'm not talking about the other countries. Like, if you want to talk about the other countries, that's fine. But we are talking about America, what affects us here in this country. And so her trying to minimize and say, oh, only 2% of the country had slaves and you know, that fact they're taking the population of the whole country and not just the South. So again, that was misleading, false information that she was trying to give. Like, yeah, if you try to minimize my history, I don't want an effing conversation with you. So they don't owe you. Who are you for them to owe you anything? You're a conspiracy theorist at best. I wouldn't even call you a political pundit, a conspiracy theorist at best. And you're even bad at that because you don't know what you're talking about.
Spew hatred. That's all they do.
I
So
mean,
anyway, I'm sorry,
Van Jones, two days before Charlie was killed, Van Jones was trying to connect Charlie to Irina Zarutska, who got killed in Charlotte. Sage, I heard what you said about Cheryl Hines, who said the same thing. I just interviewed her the hour before I just started this with you guys, and we've talked about that too, because, you know, as someone that comes from Hollywood, she was not expecting when Bobby got in on this. Well, he was a Democrat at first. She was not expecting to be welcomed into the right, and now she's like, these people are kind and decent, and she said, you know, I shouldn't have been surprised, but she's having an honest contrition about it.
True. Two things. One is it's not unique to this country. I listened to a lot of French politics, and Marine Le Pen was pointing this out in the assembly. She kept saying, I hear nothing but hatred from you people. It's you tell me I'm hateful because I want to get out of this Algerian, you know, they got out of this Algerian contract. And she goes, but I hear nothing but hate from you. You are the party of the hate. I thought, oh, it's the same thing over there. Number one. And number two, have you guys, I lost my sound for a second, but have everybody interviewed Marjorie Taylor Greene? Have you guys all met her?
One.
You know, it's funny when they try to say the left is the real party of the hate. They don't like ideals and stuff like that. But these are the same people that have, you know, are pushing this whole replacement theory. Let's talk about Tucker Carlson when he interviewed Piers Morgan. He was like, you know, aren't you worried about the country? You know, now London is 36% white. Like, you're not worried that, you know, the landscape of the culture is going to change. And Piers Morgan, who, you know, it's funny because Piers Morgan is actually very liberal, but he's on Fox, so he knows to play up his caricature. He's still an asshole, don't get me wrong. But he was like, what's wrong with that? You know, we have different cultures and know that it's a lovely thing, you know. But Tucker Carlson, that's the same thing that they're pushing in America. The reason why they don't want all these immigrants that are brown and black, because they like the white ones, but the ones that are brown and black is because they don't want the culture to change here in America. And that's what Tucker Carlson was trying to get to. So they do the same identity politics as they like to say the left does. They just call it something different. Just like when they talk about the working class, they're not talking about me or people who look like me. They're talking about white people. They just describe that word as something else. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's not play dumb like the right doesn't do that.
One time.
I found her to be very genuine and as somebody who goes with what she believes to be true. When she gets someplace that she believes is so, she will go there and go there full force. And I think there's going to be a reconciliation with Trump eventually. I do. I think he actually admires people that do that, that do their own thing, but he's not going to let it go without a big reaction.
Well, I mean, that tweet he put out, I mean, that's when you just go, okay, I'm not surprised, but this is why people go, oh my God, shut up. Like,
it's totally consistent. It's not new. It's going to happen. Listen, I just look at Kim Jong-un, like, hey, Rocket Boy, we're going to get you. And then, oh, let's go shake hands. I like that dude. I like the kind of his gym. You know, it's like, it's sort of not real in a way. It's just part of the negotiating strategy.
It is what it is. Drew, they're giving me the signal here, so you got to get into this story. People need this story.
I just have one question about Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Yep.
I've never done my homework on her. Did she not suggest? I don't know. I have not done my homework on her. That she questioned whether the Parkland and Las Vegas shootings were staged. Like, didn't she do some super duper crazy shit? Just saying.
Yes.
And this is the thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene. She was a part of that whole QAnon, you know, the conspiracy theories with the Pizzagate and all this stuff. Like, this is who she is. And I haven't heard her denounce or disavow QAnon at all. So Marjorie Taylor Greene can lick my ass for all I care. Like, this whole new Marjorie Taylor Greene, screw her. I don't care. I honestly don't. But let me let them continue. And then we're going to move on to the Michelle Obama clip. And this is where Sage Steele, again, fails. But I understand she doesn't consider herself black. She considers herself biracial. Like, she makes that clear distinction that I'm a biracial woman. Yeah, that means they don't really like their black side, just to let y'all know.
She
will believe some crazy stuff and then talk about it and then go, oh, my bad.
I mean, I'm just, you know.
Yeah. Again, I don't think anyone's defending any of the crazy stuff. To me, the bigger story is.
Let's get to what we feel
Worry about it. Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting and it's so expensive. It takes up so much time. Braids are for y'all so we can work harder and focus on the work. So why do we need an act, an act of law to tell white folks to get out of our hair? Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't wonder about it. Don't touch it. Just don't.
So a couple things. First of all, when I think of straight hair, I think about Asians and Native Americans. I don't think about white people necessarily. Dave, your hair's not that straight. My way growing out not straight, but that was kind of interesting. And I've had to. And by the way, I love the variety of hair. That I think Corinne Jean-Pierre's hair was magnificent. I think Sage's hair is magnificent. I find it super appealing and attractive. So speaking on behalf of all white people, I don't think we don't think about it that way.
I want to say something real quick, and I'm gonna let it play. I know y'all be like, stop in the video. I have to for copyright, you guys. But let's not forget that when white people have curly hair, it's curly, but it still has the stringy texture to it. So it's not the same as black people hair. Like it's not the same. Even when white people have curly hair, it is not the same because it still has like a straightness to it. So it's a lot different. Like, let's stop being like, oh, well, I have curly hair and my hair is not super straight. No, but you don't go through the same process as somebody who's black to get their hair straightened. Like, let's stop it.
But I've had to do a few shows about black women and hair. And it's not of my design, but I got fascinated by it. I had a daytime talk show on CW, and we had these groups of panels of African-American women. And when I kept going, but why the straight? Why I'm not seeing where that's coming from. And you, Sage, help me, please help me. Because this one woman said to me, she goes, look, where this came from was the slave owners preferred that, and they got into it and straightened the black women's hair and insisted on it. And I said, so you're going to go with those assholes provisions? That's that you're going to stay with that? And then I thought, well, maybe it's recurrent trauma. You know what I mean? Trauma is a way of being reenacted. Maybe it was that in the beginning, and it's a traumatic reenactment. What do you think?
Might as well.
This is why you should get a doctor who's black. If you are black, please get you a doctor who's black, like as far as, psychology, therapy, and stuff like that. Do not get someone who can't understand your struggle, because I would never go to somebody like Dr. Drew to understand my struggle, and I'm bald. So I'm not talking about hair. I'm just talking about what we deal with as a society. We need somebody who understands us. I just wanted to say that.
We'll just ask for reparations for having curly hair now. Like, shut up. It is ridiculous. And I find it, when I saw that clip, I was like, walk away, Sage, walk away. And of course I couldn't. Because what are you doing? You're sitting there bitching about white people's standards to force you to make it straight. And what are you doing? Getting paid $100,000 plus per speech, straightening your damn hair. Is anyone telling you what to do? No.
That's the thing. Your hair's straight. I'm like, but
Straighten it. And I tweeted about it, and literally the number of people who were like, yeah, I'm white, and I have never once thought about black women's hair or telling you how to wear it. Now, Are there deep-rooted issues? Yes. We talked about this over the summer on one of the shows. I think it was the first show that you were on, Drew. And I told you how deep it does go and how, as a biracial woman with what is called good hair, I am, yes, trust me, Jill, hated, disliked, whispered about. Oh, she thinks she's better than us because she has good hair. Wait, what? Did I ask for this? Actually, when I was on TV for 30 years, I mean, it was different and weird because every woman, including white women, straighten their hair when they're on TV. The fact that she is using this now and talking about we can't swim because of our hair, like there's just so many layers that she, again, going into the divisiveness as she is the ultimate capitalist, and God bless her for that. And maybe most importantly, like this is funny and comical as she tries to sell her book. I feel like she must have the same publicist as Karine Jean-Pierre with the book thing, because every single time she gets on stage to talk about the book, she is laughed at more and more. They have been out of office for almost a decade. This is a former first lady, and this is what you're doing with your platform right now. Hey,
listen. Michelle Obama, Barack Obama, they was drawn as monkeys, called monkeys, criticized for everything that they did. If Michelle stepped out that house and her hair was not laid, straightened, or whatnot, they would have had a fit. Or if she would have rocked braids. She's talking about her own personal experience, talking about Michelle Obama. Sage has never been a first lady. So how would you know anything? And here's the thing. Sage is pretending to be stupid. She know, because she even said with Dr. Drew, remember we talked about it this summer? So you know where Michelle Obama is coming from. You're just choosing to be like, oh, well, you gotta love your hair. Like nobody has ever told me to straighten it. Literally, there was the Crown Act signed in California. There was a Crown Act signed in Texas. There was one signed in New York. And then you want to know something? As of yesterday, there was a hair discrimination ban signed in Pennsylvania. There has been lawsuits of people who have sued for discrimination because of their hair. I remember it was like, I want to say 5 years ago, there was a video of this kid that was told he had to cut his dreads. It was like a wrestle match. He had to cut his dreads or he couldn't wrestle. He would have been disqualified. And they literally were cutting his dreads as they were cutting his locks so he could wrestle. Like, that's how serious it was. And that's just one example. But you can literally look up lawsuits where there is hair discrimination. Like, this is a real thing because the world that we live in is a very Eurocentric beauty standard. Like, come on, let's stop acting stupid. Just like when we talk about skin tone, the lighter, the better, right? Oh, I don't want to go out in the sun because I don't want to get dark. We know that we live in a very, very Eurocentric beauty standard atmosphere, you know? So Sage is just pretending to be dumb. But Jillian Michaels talks about her daughter, who we need to make sure we free. I don't know what her daughter name is. But we need to free Miss Ella. I'm just gonna call her daughter. She probably gave her daughter a name like Ella. We need to free Miss Ella because she do not need no black children.
Hitting on your husband and bitching about the fact that white people are making you straighten your hair. I've lost all respect for this woman because of how she's choosing to behave with that title, a former first lady. Like, it's funny and it's pathetic.
So I think the latter part of what Sage just said there is my main takeaway. It's like, to whatever extent any of this is even true or matters or wherever it comes from or anything, it's like, lady, you could be doing so much good right now and figuring out ways to empower young people and all of those things. And this is what you're focusing on. And by the way, this isn't just a one-off. I mean, it's been a recurring thing with her. I'll just say one other thing. I didn't realize the swimming thing was directly connected to this.
I've heard that.
Black people, is the implication black people can't swim because somehow the straightened hair is going to sop them down? Or, I mean, Sage, I got a party in a couple weeks. We're throwing you in the pool.
If you
know how
go
to swim?
swimming,
You can't mess with the hair. You can't get
it
wet.
doesn't stay straight if you go swimming. But
So typically black women spend between $200 to $300 on their hair, and especially if it's quality, thousands of dollars on their hair. You're not going to jump in the pool and ruin your hair. So that's what Michelle Obama was talking about, because yeah, you're not going to get your hair just freshly done just to hop in a pool. You might get some braids and then, you know, you can go in the water and stuff like that, but you're not going to spend all that money and then hop in the pool. That's ridiculous, you know? And so that's what Michelle Obama was talking about. Now, the reason why Black people don't swim, because we didn't grow up with pools and stuff like that. And then later it just kind of carried on. And then it was all like, well, shit, the early generation didn't know how to swim. And then, you know, now this generation, you know, water parks, fire hydrants, you know, that's what we were accustomed living in the inner city. You know, it wasn't until Black people got money, started getting pools and stuff like that. That's when we started swimming. And by the way, I can't swim.
But I know this because I obviously have a child who is 99.9, literally 99.9% West African. Pure West African. And just, Sage, if you don't mind, just one thing she goes on to say, like, and no, you cannot touch our hair. And here's the thing, white people only want to touch afros because we admire them. No one's trying to touch you, but when people do want to touch your hair, it's like, it's because we actually think it's beautiful and cool. And then when white people want to go get braids, you tell us that we're appropriating your culture, but then she just said that we made her go get braids. Like, what?
First of all, that's two different things. So one, yeah, don't touch somebody's hair. Here's the thing, when it's all like, oh, I just want to touch it because I think it's cool, like Jillian said. We're not a science experiment. We're not locked up in a cage so you can be like, oh, look at that animal, you know, and touch it. Oh, I want to touch it. Like, no, we're human beings. No one's walking up and being like, oh, can I touch your hair? Like, that's weird and it's disrespectful. And let's be honest, in some cases, people aren't asking if they can touch someone's hair. They're just choosing to do it. I know this is weird because I'm bald, but you know, they're just choosing to do it. Not because like, oh, like I'm going to be respectful. You know, I'm curious about it. If you're curious, you can ask questions, right? But specifically, most of the time it's all like, oh, can I touch? Like, no, you can't. And again, a lot of people believe in energy and stuff like that. And so they don't want someone touching, AKA their crown. That's where the Crown Act comes from, right?
Braids for you. And there's an infamous clip of me on SportsCenter probably 13 years ago when Chael Sonnen, the former UFC fighter, in the middle of a live segment, and he was crazy, like a live wire on TV and so much fun. And he leaned over just to kind of mess with me on live TV, and I was young and new. And he's like, you have beautiful hair. Can I touch it? And I guess that was a no-no. Growing up, it didn't matter. I get compliments literally.
Weird, Sage. You know, you shouldn't touch a stranger,
No,
but I mean, it's an admiration thing.
You have to look at the clip and you have to understand the context of who he is. And he's like borderline comedian and trying to make people feel awkward. And it worked. And I was like, I don't care because look, I can't control it anyway. And it's so funny because at the end of the day, I was looking at it from a sports perspective. Like, I'm trying to fit in with the guys here. And if he says, I say, don't touch my hair, then it's some girly girl on SportsCenter. And I was like, I actually don't care. Go for it. And he's like, oh my God, it's beautiful and it's soft, right? Every single day, no matter where I am, every day, you can ask my husband, people say something nice about my hair and like, oh my God, your curls. And so like, it's a compliment and no one is forcing us to do anything. As far as the swimming thing, I'll end on this. Maybe with women, yes, because there are times when, guess what? I don't want to get my hair wet either because then I got to start over. It takes 4 hours to dry. So I'm sorry. What does that
get
mean
3 days out of a blowout?
Right. So what does that mean for Black men? Why are we going to blame black hair on why Black men can't swim too? Or is it just the women who can't swim
women.
because of their
It's just the women. It's
hair?
just the women.
That's it. Sage, I'm telling you.
It's just really the women, like, to tell you the truth. Like, and here's the thing, they understand that. Sage understands, like, Michelle Obama was talking about women. She's choosing to be obtuse, or let's just put it in this case, dumb. It's ridiculous. And it's just weird because, like I said, Sage is there to give a perspective, right? And she should be the one to give the Black perspective. But in reality, she's not there to give that perspective. She's just there basically to coon like she does. That's the word that I was going to say with Marjorie Taylor Greene with the left, but I was like, no, that's not the same thing. She's white. But she's just there to basically cover and be like, oh, yeah, the Black people, they're just complaining. They just do this. They just do that. She's not really trying to educate or have an engaging conversation. These are people who just circle jerk each other the whole time. You're not going to get anything from them. And this is probably why nobody really watches the show. Hey, if I didn't introduce this to y'all, y'all probably wouldn't have watched it either. Yeah. Anyway, you guys, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all for being here. I'll go ahead and drop the link for this show if you want to see the whole thing in totality, but it's just going to anger you and make you mad. I'll tell you that. But yeah, the left not being accepting and, oh, they always want to call us racist, homophobic. Okay, well, stop being one, damn it. You know, if you want people to stop calling you something, then stop being that thing that they're calling you. That's all you got to do. We out of here, y'all. Deuces, everybody.